I vividly remember a soft afternoon in my grandmother Evelyn's care home, a place where the air was always filled with the gentle, comforting hum of slow jazz music and the delicate clinking of teacups. It was a setting that always felt both timeless and deeply personal, a sanctuary of quiet reflection and shared memories. I was just 11 years old, standing near a tall, old bookshelf, my eyes welling up with tears because I'd somehow lost £5. To my young mind, this small financial loss felt like an insurmountable catastrophe, truly the end of my small world. My grandmother, Evelyn, with her characteristic grace and calm, looked up from her intricate knitting. Her voice, always so soothing, was full of a profound wisdom that, at my tender age, I simply couldn't yet fully grasp or understand. She looked at me with a gentle smile and said, "Then maybe it's not truly lost, my dear. Perhaps it has just been deposited somewhere far better, waiting for you to discover its true purpose." Her words were a comforting balm to my distressed spirit. Confused by her enigmatic statement, I asked her what she possibly meant. She then explained, with a twinkle in her eye, "Life has a secret bank, you see. It diligently saves all the important lessons you don't yet understand, holding them until the right moment." It was a phrase that, even then, resonated with a quiet, undeniable truth, a beautiful blend of a whimsical fairy tale and a deeply profound insight into the nature of existence. This concept would stay with me for many years to come. She once shared a story with me about a time when she was 17, navigating the challenging landscape of post-war Manchester, feeling utterly lost and adrift after unexpectedly losing her factory job, a significant blow to her independence. As she stood there, rain began to fall, mirroring the tears she could no longer hold back, her hand tightly clutching a small, worn purse that contained only a few precious shillings, her last remaining hope. In that moment of profound despair, she truly believed the world had cruelly taken everything from her, leaving her with nothing but an overwhelming sense of hopelessness and an uncertain future stretching before her. But then, a small, unassuming flyer, damp from the persistent rain, caught her eye. It had somehow become stuck to her shoe, and on it, she could faintly discern the words, "Library assistant wanted." It was a small beacon of hope in her darkest hour. It was as if life, in its own mysterious and often unpredictable way, was gently redirecting her path, guiding her towards something that was always meant for her, a destiny she hadn't yet recognized or embraced. Inside that grand, quiet library, surrounded by countless stories bound in leather and paper, her initial fear slowly began to dissipate, giving way to a burgeoning sense of curiosity and a newfound purpose. She reached out, her fingers delicately tracing the worn spine of an old book, The Tempest, a classic play. It was the very same book where, many years later, I would serendipitously find my own lost note, a poignant connection across time. Back in the present, Evelyn looked at me with that same gentle, knowing gaze, her eyes full of warmth and understanding, and softly said, "You see, darling, sometimes the world doesn't truly take anything from us, not in the way we often perceive it." She continued, "It simply hides things away until we are truly ready to see them from a different perspective, to understand their inherent and often hidden value, and to appreciate the lessons they hold." Though I was still quite young and perhaps a little skeptical of such profound concepts, I instinctively hugged her tightly, feeling the comforting warmth of her wisdom enveloping me, a silent promise of future understanding. 30 years later, I often find myself reflecting on that pivotal day in my grandmother's care home, and now, I share these invaluable lessons and insights with my own beloved daughter, passing on the torch of wisdom. I once shed tears over the loss of £5, a seemingly trivial sum in the grand, intricate scheme of life's unfolding journey. It felt significant then, but now I see it differently, as a small step in a larger learning process. Now, with the benefit of age and experience, I understand that every single loss, whether it appears big or small, is in fact a carefully stored lesson, tucked away in the quietest, most secure vault of time, waiting for its moment to be revealed. The interest on these invaluable deposits grows steadily with patience, accumulating silently and imperceptibly over the years, much like a hidden treasure slowly gathering its worth, preparing for its eventual unveiling. And then, one day, the return finally comes, not in the form of monetary wealth, but in the far more precious currencies of profound understanding, heartfelt forgiveness, and unwavering courage, enriching our lives in unexpected ways. These are the true riches, the unseen and immeasurable profits that life's secret bank so generously bestows upon us, gifts that transcend material value and nourish the soul, guiding us through our journey. It is a profound and universal truth that resonates deeply across all cultures and generations, connecting us through shared human experiences and the timeless wisdom passed down through the ages. The secret bank of life, in its infinite wisdom, never forgets a single deposit, always holding on to precisely what we need to learn, ensuring that every experience, good or bad, serves a greater purpose in our growth. Every loss, no matter how painful it may seem at the time, carries an unseen profit, a hidden benefit. We simply need to cultivate patience and wait for the interest of life to gracefully reveal itself to us in due course.